Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Lansdowne Roar, and it is the squad reaction show. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast and a very special guest, Conor from Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. The rules are simple. If you've never seen one of these before, we'll talk about the squad for about 20 minutes, and then you, the viewer, the fan, get to have your say, and you can talk about whatever you want. You can ask whatever questions you want about the squad, or just about Irish football, or about how lovely my jersey is. Anything at all you want to talk about, it is not off limits. Just keep it sensible. Also, a big welcome to those of you watching on Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. We have the man himself behind the Twitter account. We'll get to him in 2 seconds. Also, welcome to our Facebook, our 2 Twitter accounts, Roar and Road, and also if you're watching on the YouTube account as well, a big welcome to you guys. If you haven't already subscribed, scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter, and give Conor a follow over on Republic of Ireland Player Tracker as well. Chaps, it was announced today, Heimer Hallgrimsson's first Ireland squad. We're going to get into it because they don't really care how you're doing. They don't care how you're doing. They just want to get right into the squad, and they want to see what is going on. As I said, folks, get your comments in. Tell us whatever you want to talk about. Tell us what you think of the squad. Are you happy? Anyone you wanted to see in the squad? Anyone you want to see out of the squad? Are you happy James McLean's not involved? There was some rumor that Martin was starting, that perhaps he would be included in the squad, and he wasn't. Martin, you lied again. Right, let's get into it, chaps. We're going to go through each position, and a bit like our big style. So we're going to start with the goalkeepers, and then we're going to have a chat about it. Here we are. So, first up, Caoimhín Gallagher, who actually might be going to Nottingham Forest. £25 million bid for him. He's in the squad. Hasn't played a second for Liverpool. Mark Travers also in the squad, sitting on the bench at Bournemouth. And Max O'Leary comes in from Bristol City. No caps, no goals, and he's 27. But he's the only goalkeeper that's actually playing regular football. In defence, Seamus Coleman hasn't really played too much football due to injury, but he's back in the squad. Matt Doherty, of course, he's in the squad. He's playing a few games for Wolves at the moment. Darragh O'Shea, recently Ipswich Town, he is in. And we've got Nathan Collins, of course, playing regularly for Brentford too, having a good season so far as well. Andrew Amabamidele hasn't played a second for Nottingham Forest in the league, that is. He is in the squad. Jake O'Brien has not played a second in the Premier League either. He is also back in the squad. Liam Scales playing regularly for Celtic. He is in with his 5 caps. Will he add to those? Robbie Brady, a left wing back. We're going to talk about that. He's back in the squad. Callum O'Dowd also down, you imagine, as a left wing back too, playing regularly for Cardiff as a left wing back. And now we're going to talk about the midfield. Will Smallbone, cousin Will, playing regularly for Southampton. He is in the squad. Jason Malumbi, could he be the bastard that Heimer Hallgrimsson wants? Jason Knight, of course, in the squad. He's got 30 caps so far. Alan Brown, he is in the squad, the new Sunderland man, 35 caps, 5 goals. Casey McAteer, welcome to the squad, young Casey. Hopefully get his debut against England. And we're going to go very light in midfield, actually. Only 5 picked. And now finally with the attackers. Adam Ida, recently a Celtic on a permanent deal. He's got 26 caps, 4 goals. Evan Ferguson hasn't played a minute for 5 months. He is back in the squad. Sammy Smolich, he is on form. 4 caps. Will he add to those goals or get a goal? Chidozie Penny, Luton Town. Oh, God. Colin Robinson as well, Cardiff City. He's back in the squad. Troy Parrott, AZ Alkmaar. He is in the squad. And yes, I did make a mistake there. Not only did I get his name wrong, but I got his club wrong too. Sorry. Ogbenny is obviously at Ipswich Town. That's on me. You can blame me. So there you have it, chaps. That was announced today. Obviously, for you guys watching at home, just in case you needed a reminder, have a comment, have your say, get involved. Martin, I'm going to ask you first. You are the resident guest here on the podcast. Sorry, kind of seniority and all that. Are you happy with the squad?
Yeah, it's kind of largely what I expected. John O'Shea's had a lot of influence on it from being the interim manager the last game. And yeah, pretty solid. nothing surprising apart from Casey McAteer coming in. Really, shame to see some injuries have impacted on some of the selections. Like Mikey Johnson, I think would have been a very important player for us in this kind of game. How I expect us to kind of set up and how we're going to have an attacking threat. But it's good to see. It's pretty solid. Nothing spectacular. And yeah, interesting to see what people's kind of feedback is, because I don't know what everyone's expectation is. He's not going to rock the boat too early. This is his first squad he's picked. Okay, with John O'Shea's help, but we're going to have players coming through, and there's arguments from people from the under-21s who could probably step up or have done in the past, who I think will have more of an impact in future squads. But it's going to be pretty solid for this one. Start the season, both probably teams could do without the game in a sense, because the players probably don't really want to be there because they're settling into new clubs, etc. So kind of what I expected. Nothing spectacular, but I don't really understand some of the reactions. Well, why is he in there? And what? Oh, we still got Robbie Brady. It's pure shite, or whatever it is.
Callum McDowd, I think, was one. Martin, they were saying that I heard a lot of criticism towards Callum McDowd. Just saying now, very critical towards him.
What we do have is we always have in every Ireland squad in history, we've always had a player who we have to, most of the Irish support, and I use that word in. Ironically, I suppose, support is they always will pick out one player who they absolutely kind of will gun for, and we don't really appreciate them until they're gone. Glenn Whelan being one of them.
And Callum McDowd, of course, Martin, in your world. Okay, Conor, how, as you see there, Conor has spared no expense for his backdrop. Sorry, Conor. Oh, come on. He's the newbie on it, Martin. We have to bully him on it a little bit. Conor, how do you feel about the squad? I didn't actually know about it until Martin told me that Casey McAteer had, he actually put it up on the Facebook page, on the Lansdowne Road Facebook page, that Casey McAteer had finally sealed his allegiance to the Republic of Ireland as well. I mean, cracking start. But about the squad yourself, how do you feel about it? I mean, 5 in midfield, very heavy on the defenders. Is that going to be a wing-back system we're going for?
Yeah, 100% will be wing-backs, but I don't know what to think of the squad, really. There's a few names left out that I can't really understand why. When you look at defence, I'm not overly too worried about what he's picked. I know the wing-back options are quite light. I'm surprised Festy's been left out, but he hasn't played at club level, but he's just one of them lads for the future, and he's not in under-21s, so you'd be surprised. I'd imagine he's on standby, but to not even make the squad is a bit odd. Coming to midfielders, I would have had Jack Taylor in, play half an hour in both of Ipswich games so far in the Premier League. It's strange. I know he hasn't been capped for Ireland or hasn't been involved with John O'Shea yet, but surely you'd have to consider that heavily. Same goes with Finn Azaz. I know he hasn't had the best start of the season with Middlesbrough, but he started every game in the league, and he has picked up a couple of assists. And he did start for O'Shea at home against Hungary, so O'Shea clearly rates him very highly. And it's very strange to have a player in the squad one camp, still to be fit and playing every week, and then just drop him completely. And then Jimmy McGrath is a surprise one, because I know a lot of people don't like Jimmy McGrath. He's had a brilliant start to the season, and he's always been a regular in squads. And then I think the biggest surprise for everyone who's included is Callum Robinson, I'd imagine so, because I know he scored last weekend, but he hasn't really kicked much football throughout all of 2024. And someone said that's his first goal of 2024. I know there's not many other options, but I'm happy with the forward line. The forward line is starting to get exciting. Attacking areas, I know Mickey Johnston's a big miss in the wing, but is he definitely 100% injured? Because I know he got concussed in a second game a couple of weeks ago, but is that the reason he's out?
I don't know, to be honest with you, if that is the reason he was out, because he got injured. He came on as a sub. Now, we know Rodgers doesn't fancy him, and he hasn't for some time. Now, I don't know if it was a case of he was injured, because concussions are funny, aren't they? Well, they're not funny, but you know what I mean. You don't know. You could be out for months with them. You could be out for a number of days. I'm not sure the severity. Or was a case of it was an excuse to drop him by Rodgers, and they probably just on that alone, they just haven't picked him. I'm not too sure, because the press conference, lads. I watched the press conference that was on there. It was like 13-minute press conference. It's very bad, wasn't it? It was very
the same question. It was the same questions asking John O'Shea why is he taking the job as assistant manager. I know we asked you questions. There's some things you have to fill a quota for if you're with a major media company, but surely something better you could ask in the live in section. Like surely when you think of questions when it comes to asking with a player why is he not involved, would
Like
get
Mike
really
Johnson.
more ice. Yeah, like something like that. But I'm glad to see though he's heading back to West Brom, because he was absolutely brilliant with them last year and he's adored by the fans there. So it's great to see he's going back to where he's loved.
Yeah, I do have the Independent open here, because in the next few minutes, obviously they have the dailies, don't they, Martin? Because once they do the live section, then you have the dailies, and they basically ask questions, don't they? And then they write them, and they're normally released online at about 11 o'clock. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And by the way, out there, folks, if you're watching and you hear of any news, do let us know. We are live, and we'll talk about it. You guys are our eyes and ears a lot of the time, because Martin
Also,
and I, we haven't.
I don't know about you, we was surprised to see Tom Cannon miss out, and one of John O'Shea's good mates, Shane Duffy. I'm surprised Shane Duffy's the one admission that I'm very surprised didn't make the squad, because started he is like Zaz, he started in June, but I know he was very poor when he played. But you think with Duffy's connection with O'Shea and then his leadership qualities, he would have been picked. But it just shows that we have quality in the centre back area with good young talents. So at least we're starting to evolve in that position.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think there was any room, really, was there, Martin, for Shane Duffy in defence? I mean, Tom Cannon hasn't really played. He played I think he played a couple of minutes, didn't he?
It's a strange squad, though. Only picking 23 is strange. I mean, I know that, like, I'm kind of showing my age here now, and I know Brian Kerr was very critical because it was under Martin O'Neill, wasn't it? I think, where we used to pick like 27-man squads or get everyone up there together, and then he would release people back into their clubs. This was the ideal opportunity for this to happen. I'd be surprised, actually, if this is the squad. I think there will be more to this that we just don't have. I think this is the official announcement, the 23. But I would imagine some of the others. If I was Heimer, I would be bringing in anyone who I think needs to. I said it on the last show, Dave. You need to kind of brief these guys of what's our idea. He needs to have them around the camp and what's involved. Now, you're not playing. You might not be fit, but I think it was important to bring people in like that. Now, John O'Shea will be a good link up, obviously, from the last kind of interim period, of course. But I think it's important to have Mikey Johnson there, understanding what way you want to play. Even Obafemi. Now, I know it's a horrible time, this, because transfer window, you've got people moving. Mikey Johnson's obviously moving. He's going to have the challenges of relocating to some extent. It's not a massive move. He was there on loan, of course, last year. But,
yeah,
you do have that in the background going on, which is a distraction. And I know England will be impacted a little bit by the same kind of scenario, but I'm surprised that, I think this 23-man squad, you've got 3 goalkeepers in that. It doesn't even allow you to have, even training sessions like without the goalkeepers. If they're training, it's a 10v10. It's a little bit weird. You often do see under 21 lads coming involved as well. And let's not forget that they're obviously playing as well. And the under 21 squad was announced today as well. But, the Callum Robinson is the biggest mystery for me. In regards to strikers, I can understand Evan being there, even if he's not 100% fit, because he's going to be part of the future. But Callum Robinson, I can understand Femi being out. But Callum Robinson hasn't really done enough for me, and I would have preferred to see Sinclair Armstrong, who I think is going to offer something more long term, coming in there. To be honest,
yeah. I
think he offers more. Can I put it in there for a second? I think he offers more in style of opponent. Sorry, Dave, but just like the teams we're playing against here, England and Greece, with his abilities as you could get playing a half turn on the halfway line, long ball into channels, beating defenders off. He's brilliant at that. That's one of his biggest traits, is using his strength and using his pace in behind. So you'd wonder with Callum Robinson, he's not the quickest. He likes to drop deep and get balls into feet. So you'd wonder, is he just in the squad just for the sake of it? Because I don't know how he's going to play a role at all in these 2 games.
I mean, Michael Obafemi hasn't played. He's played a little bit for Plymouth, didn't he? He came on for Wayne Rooney's side, I think for about 20 minutes during the weekend, something like that. And I think he played a bit before that in the Carabao Cup. So he's clearly not fit. He's just getting into a new squad as well. Tom Cannon, as we said, he's moving. We don't know where Tom Cannon's going to move to. So it's very unfortunate time. I think a lot of do you know what? I really feel bad for the manager. And, he turned around and he said about Evan Ferguson, didn't he? Well, we hope he's a lot fitter than people think he is, because he's not match fit. He won't be match fit for England. He'll be fit. He'll be okay, but he won't be match fit, and there is a difference because he hasn't played any football. But I do feel sorry for the manager, because he's been kind of thrown under the bus a little bit, where he's got his first game to England. He's had no time to prepare. He's had no summer camp because he's in the middle of an international of a tournament as well. Like, he's just had so much going on. FEI have no finance. That's probably why they haven't been able to bring over a bigger squad. Probably just budgetary constraints, which fair enough, I suppose. And I just feel really bad for him and a lot of the players because of this transfer window, Martin. And you touched on this on the last pod. Because of this transfer window, it's allowed to go quite deep into the start of the season, like literally until late tomorrow, isn't it? 12 o'clock. Is it 12 o'clock tomorrow? Lunchtime tomorrow? Or is it midnight tomorrow? Or
midnight tomorrow, isn't it?
Midnight tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it just disrupts everything. And you've got some Nations League matches happening. And even if you didn't have the Nations League, you'd have qualifiers. If it wasn't Nations League, it'd be qualifiers. And I just think he's very unlucky. And it's cost him a few players as well that we could really deal with.
He said in the press conference today, didn't he? Heimer said he wanted to kind of, he wants to learn and kind of build relationships with players himself. He's
going to learn
heavily on John O'Shea, of course, but and he kind of said you basically have 3 working days out of 5 that you're actually working solidly in training. So a lot of criticism of the press conference as we've alluded to, but wasn't anything of note in it. And no. I think that in time there will be more probably explanations of the situation with selecting some of these players, because it's still kind of complex and how we're going to pick the team and which way we're going to set up. And I don't know. I'm not really that positive now going into Saturday week.
No, we're threadbare in midfield, and that to me, look, I said it. I think any chance against England, keep it tight, put it up against them. Very rudimentary, old school football. Packed in midfield, play Smolix behind the big man, Evan Ferguson up front, or Ida, and then just feed off scraps. That's all he can do really against a single team. Not because the single team is so amazing or whatever. It's a bloody good side. We're going to talk about them in a minute. It's just the manager's had very little time to work with this group of players. He's not at full strength. We're very stretched in midfield as well. It looks to me, chaps, I want to talk about this. And I want to get your opinion at home, by the way. See the comments coming in. Keep them coming in. Whatever you want to talk about, we will get to that in the next 15, 20 minutes. We will absolutely get to that. So keep those comments coming in. Thank you. The midfield. He's got 5 midfielders, right? And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenders. So very, very back heavy, right? That says to me he's going wing backs. Because he's got Robbie Brady and he's got Conor McDowell, who have both been playing as wing backs for the clubs. Preston, North End, Brady, and Conor McDowell for Cardiff. And yeah, it just, and obviously he's got his 2 right backs. He's got Seamus Coleman and he's got Matt Doherty. I'm not sure which one of those are going to play there. What is it with do you agree? Do we all agree that it's looking increasingly like a wing back system? No, you already said Conor. Martin, would you agree he's going for a wing back system? That's the first question.
It will be. Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible though. There. I don't think it's impossible with that team. If you look at that, if you look at them as a manager, you could easily go right. We'll put Coleman right back, Doherty left back, which has happened before. Then you go if you went 4-4-2, for example, you put a Benny on the right, Casey McAteer on the left, and you still have Smolix and Ferguson up top. I know that's extremely defensive if you went that way, but when you're playing a team against England, I wouldn't be surprised.
I personally, I think we should flood the midfield. That's just stop them playing. I think if we go with a wing back situation again, because I know, look, John O'Shea, it goes back to Jack's time. I know it's a bit before your time, Conor. When Jack picked the team in '86 against Wales, he let Mick Byrne picked the team, actually, because he knew the players. And this is what Heimer's doing. He's kind of sitting back going, right, John, Paddy. That's actually the name of the coaches, by the way. I'm not being discriminatory there. But like, he's actually going, John, Paddy, you guys know the players. You pick them, you tell me, and I'm going to learn it, which is fine. And I do. It's not passing the book. I think it's quite smart management there by Heimer. And under the last regime with Kenny, and we had it as well with John O'Shea, there's this obsession playing wing backs. We can't play with wing backs. We don't have wing backs. We got Robbie Brady, whose best days are past him, and he might be on the I don't know what's happened with his new manager, Paul Heckenbottom at Preston. His first game in charge, he wasn't involved after playing regularly under the last couple of managers. I think they had an interim manager there as well. And of course, you got Callum McDowell, your mate, Martin. All joking aside, Callum McDowell is not a left wing back, and he can't play it. And he's struggling in the championship as it is, and if we're going to expect him to play as a left wing back against England, I mean, Jesus, that's surely,
Saka.
yeah,
Saka.
yeah, a man on
That's
form.
the-
Sorry, Martin,
That's a long night.
but yeah,
No, look, he does. play
Martin's
week
getting
in,
all
week out
defensive
there.
now.
No, he plays
Watch this,
week in,
Conor.
week out there
For Cardiff, yeah.
Cardiff. He does, and Robbie Brady, we know that will be valuable if he will be selected with set pieces. I mean, it's just again we seem to just pick a system and plug players in to kind of do a job just because it shows where we are in development of players. And I'd like to. That's why I know ironically Stephen Kenny fast tracked a lot of the under-21s and younger players through, but I think we probably have to do that again in some respects, where like Safesti, if he's good enough for the last squad and coming in, why is he not here now? Okay, we know there might be injuries, but even Sinclair Armstrong, those kind of players, like we need to trust people. Like Jason Knight is a player who, it's just his Irish career so far. He like I've said before in this, he must have played about 5 or 6 positions. He could easily be a right wing back in this game.
Yeah.
He has played.
He's played there before. Ogbene could be asked to do that job as well. I think it's the problem, the worry for me and Dave. I know you're not his greatest fan, Cullen. Like what he does is so important, and it's only going to be really appreciated in this this kind of next window, because
it's going to be
very tough for whoever goes in there. Malumbi, like you said, he could become the bastard, as Heimer said. Yeah. And Will Smallbone has sat in there at Southampton. They've tried him there as well. But that's what I'm saying. The squad is very adaptable. Seamus Coleman can go in the right of a free at the back, and he can go right wing back and still offer a bit going up and down. Okay, the legs aren't as great as they were, and Matt Doherty can go on the left. Darrow O'Shea can play left of the free, of course, and can play left back as well. So very heavy at the back. I mean, there was not so long ago people were talking about Nathan Collins coming into centre midfield. Yeah, not that I think we'll do anything as revolutionary as that, but I think we're just going to be very solid. And that's the key thing. I think Heimers, they've got so short time working with the squad. They're going to set them up. It might be defensive, and I'm not worried about that. We want to be hard to beat now. We want to get a result against England, and I don't care taking a 0-0 will be absolutely amazing, to be honest. And we need to be hard to beat, very, very solid, and think of the pace. I think that's maybe why Robinson's in there. Not necessarily, but he gets a lot of fouls. He's quite good up the pitch. He does have moments in him. Ogbene especially. I mean, let's not forget he's back here. He wasn't in the last one, was he? He's back now. So brilliant coming back. Troy's in there. I mean, we've got enough up front to not have to worry. It's can they deliver in those moments? And I think, to be honest with you, the key player for me in that attacking side of the squad is definitely Sammy Szmodics. Now, he started brilliantly for Ipswich, of course. And, I think he's going to be a key player for us. And then you've got a question, where was he for last campaign? He's like, in a way, developing like...
You got to play him, though. You got to play him in the centre.
Jack Byrne? He's like... I don't want him to... Like, he will... I hope he's not going to be remembered like they were, that we never used them enough. Andy Reid, them kind of clever players.
He's got to be down the centre. None of this left or right nonsense. He's got to be down the centre. That I say, see Szmodics. He's one of those players. He's so cute. He's so clever. And even against City, he was just at the right place at the right time. That run he timed, time was perfection. He is so cute. You see him. He's just an old school centre forward. He's always busy. You don't know what he's going to do. He's got these flicks and tricks. He's just he can make something out of nothing. And he's got to play down the centre, and he's got to play behind a number 9. And for me, like Evan, hopefully Evan, if he's fit enough, or maybe an Alameda, he's so good. He's so tricky, and he'll trouble any defense because I'd say he's a nightmare to play against. He's just a pain in the arse. And I think he'll do well in the Premier League, hopefully. Anyway, they've signed a little bit of quality there now at Ipswich, and he needs that support. But I think it's so important that we build the attack around him anyway.
Yeah. Do you not think that it was as simple as he just wasn't good enough? I always felt until the last, I'd say, year and a half, Sammy Szmodics wasn't at the level he's at now. Even when you speak, there was a podcast he done just before he was called up to the Ireland squad, which was very good, when he said that something just clicked in his own head. He said his mentality has improved so much, and even his attitude to the game. So I think it's more of a thing that he's just been a late bloomer more than anything.
You're just trying to defend Kenny, Conor.
No, I'm not. No, because yes, I think Kenny should call him up. Kenny should had him in more squads than what he had in. But I do think he he is more of a late bloomer more than anything.
Send your Dave McGuinness, if you're watching, send your hate tweets to Republic Ireland Player Tracker. We have, you think I defended Kenny? This boy down here. Where is he? There we go. He's down there. He's the man. You send your hate tweets towards him over Republic Ireland Player Tracker. Maybe so, but at the end of the day, for England, yeah, but not for Ireland. We didn't have a lot.
And do you not think that they could go back to traditional, what Kenny done? He loved his Coleman at right wing back and Doherty on the left. I think I'd be saying that's a very likely option.
He could. He could, and obviously with 2 games. I mean, look, Robbie Brady isn't going to play 2 games back to back. That just isn't going to happen. In this window, certainly not for 90 minutes. So yeah, he could be just bolstering. I think he is going to go. I think we're all agreed they were the wing back. Just very quickly, and then we're going to move it on. We're going a tiny bit over. Obviously, no Josh Cullen in the midfield. On the Broncos by Casey McAteer. Conor, you've got your ear to the ground. Was there any like, this kind of came out of the blue? Now I know Kenny towards the end of his era, there was talk of Casey McAteer, getting a call up for Ireland, or he'd start the process, but that was about a year ago. And you're thinking, oh Christ, and it sort of just went quiet.
Yeah. I think it was Dan, wasn't it? Dan McDonald said back in, was it October, November, that he was in the process of getting the paperwork completed, and then it wasn't. They said in March it wasn't done, and then it came to June, and John O'Shea said he wanted to call him up, but he wasn't fully fit. He said he wanted to take time off because he was nursing a hamstring injury when he was playing. So I think that was it. There was a lot of talk online saying, I hope he commits, but anyone that knows what players go through to get the paperwork done, even asked what Sammy Smollett has said about it, to get the passport done, he was never going to turn his back on us once he was halfway through.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair point as well. I think many, especially the older fans, Martin, they kind of think like, when you hear about his namesake, Jason McAteer, just if you believe what Jason McAteer says, I'm not saying you should doubt it, by the way, but he said he just picked a name, didn't he? A town or whatever, and he went, yeah, that'll do. Grand, there's your passport. I mean, it's obviously a lot stringent now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's interesting actually. Just on the back of this subject is obviously future recruitment. That's something that the FAI are looking to do, aren't they? Trying to bring someone in to kind of check the granny rulers and recruit.
Wait,
players.
who recruited him? Who recruited him?
Yeah,
Even Kenny.
Casey.
Bring Kenny back. Get him head of recruitment.
No, it's an important thing, now, with different nationalities and stuff, and obviously, and I know Mark O'Toole does a great job over here in London trying to find players, and that's the kind of thing. I mean, look, I know we'll come on and talk about England squad as well, but it's interesting. Declan Rice, Jack Grealish are gonna both be in their squad as well, and I've seen people talk about. I think I sent you this message earlier, Dave, didn't I? This is the greatest reunion since Oasis. We've got Callum Robinson and Jack Grealish back together. That's why Callum Robinson's back in the squad, is my theory. Besties at Wimbledon there in June instead of being at the Euros for Jack. And that's it. It's a time of reunions.
There you go. He was so excited, folks, about getting that joke in. Martin was. You got to get this joke in. Come on. And that's a lovely segue into the England squad. So let's have a look at this here, lads. I want to get your thoughts on this. Going to read it out. So in goal, you got Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope. In defence, you got Alexander Arnold, Levi Colwill, Mark Gahey, Ezri Konza, Rico Lewis, Tino Livramento, Harry Maguire, John Stones in midfield. You got Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher. Speaking of Oasis, Gibbs White, you got Angel Gomez, Kobe Manu, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice. Ooh, speaking of the bastard. Forwards, Jared Bowen, Eberechi Eze, Jack Grealish returns to the squad, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane, Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka, and Ollie Watkins. Sorry, guys. I can barely read it. I made the graphics too small on it. Sorry, folks, if you're listening to it. So that's
just quickly to come into that. Sorry, Dave. Right, that's 26-man squad they picked there today.
I was going to say, yeah.
We picked 23, so I don't understand why we've gone light on it.
Also,
more money.
There was a great opportunity, I think, to bring in a couple of League of Ireland lads. Anyone has watched the Irish clubs in Europe over the last few weeks, particularly Neil Ferrugia has been absolutely superb for Shamrock Rovers. On like someone like that, I know he would have come in, he wouldn't have played, but I think it gives the league such a boost when someone's impressing in Europe against teams in Europe who are go off squad value are way, way higher than Shamrock Rovers. If someone could just come into the squad and get the experience, it gives the league such a boost. I thought it would have been a great opportunity to bring someone in, even to train with the groups.
Smacks of tokenism, though, doesn't it? And I think
yeah, but that might happen. That might happen though. Still,
I think eventually
there's a
it
lot
will.
goes on. in the
Afalabi did
background.
last year, so yeah, I would hope it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I just think this time they probably need to concentrate a bit more on just gelling the first team, and then eventually get the League of Ireland lads in. There's the England team lads. Very quickly, I didn't watch the press conference with Lee Carsley. You know, Martin, you've an invested interest in it.
I wonder why.
Yeah, in a similar situation yourself, there, Martin, as the manager. So yeah, what? Oh yeah, we're gonna hammer Martin during this window.
Am I as like? Is this you're bringing an English guy to talk about England?
Yeah. So tell us about the opposition, Martin.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, do you know something?
Wearing your orange shirt as well.
I know. Yeah. Just looking at that squad though, and you know, we did. A few of us on this were obviously quite keen for Lee Carsley to be involved with Ireland, and I still have a theory that he was number one choice. But you know, he's interim, and I just think of the contrast of him coming as an interim. I know it's a little bit different to when John O'Shea came as interim, and we said it wasn't John O'Shea's job to end careers and whatever. But you know, fair play, Lee Carsley has basically done that. Because Trippier announced he'd done a James McLean, didn't he? He announced his retirement from England international duty before the squad was officially announced. So that was a James McLean moment from him. And he has been very brave with selecting a number of new players. I know it's a little bit different, and it's probably easier for him to have done that rather than John O'Shea, because he was coming off the back of working successfully with them underage for a number of years and can put the medal on the table and say, well, I've won with them and I trust them and this is what they're going to do. And I listened to a few clips of it today, just because I heard a lot of kind of outrage from Irish fans saying Lee Carsley was referring to himself as we and, you know, and we're going to do this or whatever. And that he didn't come across as feeling, you know, they got the sense, oh, he doesn't feel Irish at all, that guy. But, you know, he has a big vested interest in them, and he's got a lot of trust in that squad. And I think it's a very brave squad. And it worries me, to be fair, that he's got so much confidence in these young guys coming in who he's willing to take on. The media and coverage of England is incredibly high, as we know.
For debutants
he doesn't,
in the squad, isn't
yeah,
it?
he doesn't care about, he's backing himself massively here to put on a performance and trust these guys who, to be honest with you, you know, I often say and criticize Irish fans for saying, you know, they wouldn't have a clue, half of them, who they're actually watching it when they're sitting in the Aviva half the time or where they play. But not that you necessarily have to, but I wouldn't know half them England players, to be fair. And you know, he's incredibly brave going for that. And I know, you know, there's no way a lot of England fans would know who they are, even the kind of household names who I suppose have won tournaments for them. So he's going for that job, basically, and I think that's worrying for me.
Well, rumor has it that Pep Guardiola has till Christmas to decide whether he's going to stick in Man City or not. And the rumor has it that England want Pep Guardiola, and they put they put Lee Carsley in charge. But if you never know what Guardiola might do, I don't think he will be Man City manager this time next year, but doesn't mean he's going to go to England. But they'll obviously make a play for him. And rumor has it that he's got till Christmas. Then City, if he says no or doesn't know, they're going to go after somebody else to have a replacement by the end of the season. So this is a great opportunity for Lee Carsley, is it not, Conor? And how did you feel about, you know, a bit before your time again? You're going to hear me say a lot of that, sorry. But, you know, Jack Charlton won a World Cup with England, was English through and through, Mr. John Bull himself, until, you know, he became Ireland manager. And then he'd always, you know, everything with Ireland was we and all that. So how did you feel, first of all, about Lee Carsley saying we for England, even though he's the England manager?
I couldn't care less, to be honest. I think it's mental. People think that. I think it's mental people are like, if you're managing a team, it is we, because you're a collective and that's your job. And if you're talking about a team, a group of players, if you're playing for the English national team, you refer to them as we as a team. He's not referring, I don't think he's even referring really as like a country. You see, well, he is representing the English nation by managing them, but I think it's ridiculous. People are getting offended by it. I haven't seen anyone get offended with it, thankfully, but I think if people are getting offended by that, I'd say they're getting offended very easily, because he's just doing his job. And if I was managing England and I would refer to the team as we, I wouldn't. If you were managing a team, you wouldn't refer to them as they, so or them. So I wouldn't.
That's true. I think you
so
speak. No, you're right there. You speak in sense. It doesn't mean like he's got his Irish passport and fucked it in the bin. Do you know what I mean? It just means like
Yeah.
that's his team. It's we. Do you think
I'm
there
sure
could be a
he'll be
way?
asked.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll
Do
be
you
asked.
think
He still. Sorry, go on ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I'm sure he'll be asked at a press conference when he comes to Dublin. Is he still a proud Irishman? I'm sure that question will come up.
Yeah, that'll be by me. Of course, we will be there. Conor and myself will be there live for the pre and post match in Dublin.
Yeah.
Just saying,
Okay.
it's the only place to go, really. I just want to also say, Lance, we've got over 1,000 people watching us at 11:10 at night. Eh, fantastic. The Roar faithful, and of course the Republic of Ireland player tracker out there as well watching us. So thank you very much for
Thank
that,
you
for
very
your
much.
support. It's absolutely brilliant, and it keeps going up. It's fantastic. So yeah, obviously that's a hell of a squad. We're going to talk very quickly about the under-21s, and then we're going to get on to the comments. So Conor, this is your time to shine. In goal, we've got Tyrone Brooks, Killian Cahill, I think, Josh Keeley. Sorry, it's just yet again very small graphics. And in defence, we've got James Abawanka or Bankwa. Jesus, I can't
Did
see.
you,
Do you know what? You read it out because I can't see the fucking
Well,
names.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
go on. It's your
From the start, or do you want me to go on from where you're at?
just continue.
James Abankwa, Emmanuel Adebayo, Sam Curtis, James Furlong, Anselmo Garcia McNulty, Alex Murphy, Conor O'Riordan, Sean Rowan, and then the midfielders are Baba Adiko, Matt Healy, Joe Hodge, Andrew Moran, Killian Phillips, and Rocco Vata. And then the forwards are Sinclair Armstrong, Idemo Maku, Johnny Kenny, Mark Mahoney, or Mahoney as they call him last night in the TV, Ollie O'Neill, Armstrong Okoflex, and Frank Kuma.
Right. Happy with that squad?
I'm fairly happy with that squad.
pronunciation. Rather than you, Dave. I'm happy with that.
Sorry, what did you what was it you said, Martin, about the video that the FAI released earlier on, but the language that it was released in? What did you say about that?
Gaelic, did I?
Can't even say. You can't even fucking say, can you?
Gaelic.
He said it was. First of all, he said it was Gaelic, and I said, "Sorry, Martin, this is the Republic of Ireland, not the Scottish team. Gaelga, os Gaelga."
All right.
Yeah. Orange.
But I know, yeah, no, the video was good actually. Just to
it was very good
on that because I liked it,
Yeah.
but I'm only criticism of it.
Didn't know what they were saying, but yeah, you
a lot
liked
of that was part of it, but also it was a bit too quick to actually. If you were reading the squad, you had to really zoom in to see, didn't you? And think, oh, who's that? And
a bit like me trying to read the squad here.
A little bit like that. But I like these new videos of how they announce squads.
Oh,
It's just imagination and being there.
Sorry, Jay. If James is, I do apologize. He's over there in Udinese, isn't he? Sitting on a bench with it. Pesty, bless him. Yeah, happy with the squad. Good squad.
Yeah, I am fairly happy with it. There's not much of change now. I know there's a lot of, in my comments anyway, from people who see my tweets, there's a lot of people a bit pissed off that Tyler Goodrum hasn't been called up since his last call up last September. But it's a very, very strong squad. Like they're missing the likes of Boston Lowell, Zach Glissenin, who has Tony Springett is out, Teo Daramola, who's someone I think should be fast tracked into senior squad. He's that left wing back option or left back missing. But yeah, to be two nailed on starters in Boston Lowell and Teo Daramola is out. But it just shows the strength and depth we have at under 21 level that you can miss them too and still say it's a ridiculously strong Ireland panel.
No, and of course those games are played as well, aren't they? Oh, let me take
one in Turkey and one in Tala.
Yeah, the one in it's the same bloody day, isn't it, as the Greek game? I know that there was a bit of a snafu. I've cut it out there on the senior squad one, but there was a snafu. They had the 9th, didn't they, for the Greece game on that? I mean, I get it. Mistakes happen. Trust me, I know mistakes happen. But yeah, play Turkey. They're away. Is it in Turkey? Is it?
Yeah, it's in Turkey. Yeah.
On the 6th of September on the Friday, and then Latvia at home in Shamrock in Talas Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pity. It's a real pity. It's the same day, but It's the UEFA does these fixtures. It's not the FEI. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
Much as we want to blame them, it's not their fault.
We want to blame them for everything, don't we? Right. I see a few of the comments coming in there, lads. Fantastic. We're going to take a very tiny little break before we get to those. We're going to play you because we have obviously an international window coming up. The squad reaction show is the real start of the international window, and of course we are going to be live from Lansdowne Road. Conor and myself are going to be in Lansdowne Road. Martin, did you hear that? Conor and myself are going to be live, sitting together, taking in the spectacle of being in Lansdowne Road live. The two of us, Martin.
Sounds like a challenge, Dave, and you know I'm up for a challenge.
No. Just you. No, we don't want. No. But Conor and I will be live from Lansdowne Road for a pre-game and the post-match reaction for the game on Saturday against England, and of course the game on Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday. All over the place on Tuesday as well against Greece. So basically, how it works is an hour before kickoff, when the team's announced, Conor and I will go through that. Talk about what tactics we're going to play, that sort of stuff. You have your say. Then about 5-10 minutes after the full-time whistle, we go live and we hear from you. You get to have your say. You get to say what you want. The FEI watches. We know they do. So you can say what you want within reason. No, I'm not saying that as a thing that, they should be watching us. We are the voice of the fans and they want to hear. Yeah, and you want to hear what you guys have to say, and which is fantastic. It's what's really special about Lansdowne Roar. No other podcast does it well for free anyway, Martin, isn't that right?
That is right, Dave. And also, I would like to say that it's worth picking up the match program on the match day, of course, because there you will also get to read some wonderful articles by my esteemed colleagues on the podcast show tonight.
Oh,
there you go. Look at that little plug.
You're a steamer, Martin, aren't you? Thank you, Martin. But and of course, Martin,
to be fair, you do both do a great job with that, and it's amazing that we're in the match program. It's a wonderful thing to be part of.
We will be. I've got 2 articles coming up in English in the England game, I hope anyway, and I got one for the Greece game as well. Normally do a little bit going, this week back in the day. And Conor, I don't know, what do you do, Conor?
I just talk about Irish footballers all over the globe, whatever they're at. And if you're at the under-21s game, make sure to pick up it. There's a piece in that as well from myself.
Of course. No, absolutely. And, don't forget to head over to Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. If you want to know what's going on with the current players, wherever they're playing, Conor is your man. He has our own version of Stato. Right. A very quick break, and then we're going to get on to the comments. David Dunn here from Lansdowne Road.
We just arrived here in Gibraltar.
On the road.
Yeah, I'm not in Gibraltar, guys. I'm not in Gibraltar.
Sadly, I'm not in Lansdowne Road. I'm here in Amsterdam.
Gibraltar. The rock over there.
The rock. Stadio Municipal Aveiro. Something along the lines. Anyway, as you can see, it is pissing wet.
Trying to give us a good experience this evening. So, get into your little seat, you. Yeah, I've been off the drugs 3 times.
Lost in the driver for you too. I feel like you're one of the RTDs years ago.
Let me tell you something about you two, right? They have
on the
flight. So much for this country.
I did. Here in a big car park outside the ground. Not too much to do.
Yes. This country, Portugal, every country, Europe.
Behind me here, you can see there is some snacks.
Show some respect in my big.
The rock over there.
No.
We're not going to be playing Gibraltar in any of the countries.
Well, that's the way of the world these days.
And wherever they go, we will be there, and we will be in Lansdowne Road for the next 2 games, and we will be broadcasting live. Right, let's get to the exciting bit. So, first up, keep coming in, guys. We're going to get to the end of the mailbag. And Kazi. I mean, we actually weren't. Kazi was the first one here, lads, wasn't he? He said we were running late. We actually weren't. That was sent at 10:27 p.m. and we went live at 10:30, Kazi. So, apology accepted. Here's one probably for you, Conor, straight off the bat by David over on the YouTube channel. Has Nathan Fraser jumped ship, or is he still going to play for Ireland?
I hope so. At this
Answer
stage.
him, Conor.
I don't want to say hope so. That sounds a bit mean, but yeah, I think he has. I think that ship sailed. I think from Jim Crawford's point of view, he pulled out of 2 squads now after being called up. So I wouldn't have. He's in loan in Belgium, I believe. But I stopped Republic of Ireland player tracker. I stopped tracking him because he seems to have no interest in representing Ireland. So, and I seen Jim Crawford actually was asked today by Off the Ball about him, and Jim Crawford didn't seem too fond of him when he spoke to him. So I think that ship is sealed. But I wouldn't be worried too worried about it either.
Well, there you go. I mean, if Republic of Ireland player tracker stopped following him, so you know it's official. That's a stamp of approval or disapproval. This particular situation. Kazee again. How you doing, Kazee? Can we please put some respect on Festi Epicelli's name? Don't ask me, Jesus. This kid is a beast and can't get a sniff of first team football. I don't know if that's a continuation.
I don't know what that means. But also, I don't know if you've seen Marzio, the Italian football expert, was saying that Stade Reims have made an inquiry about him, getting him on a loan with an option to buy. So I would like to see that deal go ahead, because I think his time at Udinese probably is over, because the lad in front of him has been in front of him for 2 years, and he tore his ACL. That's why Festi got a lot of first team football last season and done very well. But I'm surprised, and Festi didn't deserve to lose his place after that, but they brought him back in because he must be very highly rated by Udinese. So I think Festi should try and get out on the last day of the transfer window tomorrow.
100%. Shea Trainer, Yup the McAvoy. Who's this Shea Trainer?
A mate from school.
I take it that's mixture Shea Guevara and Oscar Trainer, is it?
I don't know, you'd have to ask him that himself now.
Yeah, that's a yes. Damien Clark over on YouTube. It's a very uninspiring squad. Yeah, to be fair. Especially when you see the England team. Jesus Christ. Shane Brown, I'm taking hope that Slovakia were within a minute of beating England a few months back. Our players will be well up for it, and I'm traveling home from Florida for an historic win. Do you have a good man, Shane? Well, that's the thing, as well, we have to remember is that, I think mentally this team was very brittle. They got to a final, but they had a very easy route. They had a bit of fortune, but if you get at them, you put a reducer on Declan Rice if he plays. By the way, I don't want Declan Rice to be injured. By the way, you get the crowd behind them. They're not going to fancy it. That England team was very mentally brittle. I thought, when the media got on their back a little bit during the Euros, they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be. This is unfair. The way we've been treated. You're so mean." I think there is a brittle mentality there that we can exploit.
Yeah, I get your point on that, but that's something that Lee Carsey said today in the press conference about these new additions to the squad, that they're very experienced and they're of winning, basically. So maybe he's going to recognise that kind of brittleness that you refer to, and that's why he's gone with bringing some of these debutants in that he knows have been there, done it, and he said, England haven't won anything, they've come close and they've not got over the line. So maybe that's why he's
some of them do deserve
showcasing what he wants to do. Yeah, he's putting them in there, and again, that's not great for us, but that's what Lee and we and us are thinking about.
It's actually funny here because this is going to be Heimer's first game in charge. It's also going to be Lee Carsey's first game in charge, and Greece have a brand new manager as well. I thought it was Gus Poyet. I don't know why when I was doing the research, but they have a brand new manager. He's a Yugoslavian lad, isn't he? Did you lads know this?
I know the manager, but I don't know anything about the fella.
Yeah, he played for Yugoslavia. I wonder if he played for us.
Please find out the name and please try to announce it.
Ivan Jovanovic.
Hey,
Ivan Jovanovic. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Cold War names, Martin.
Ivan
Jovanovic. He must have played against us. But yeah, he's the manager. So but he was only appointed in July, so I'd imagine he hasn't had a game. I don't really know actually, but I imagine he hasn't had a game for Greece yet. So you got very experimental. Like you don't really know. It makes it interesting. I think you don't quite know what's going to happen here. Paul Hopkins, what has Festi to do? I don't think O'Shea fancies him. Well, we did just cover that, Paul. He hasn't played a second of Serie A football. He didn't even play in the Coppa Italia in the opening game of the season. As well, and as Conor eloquently put, I think Saint Ren, is it?
Ad Rems, yeah.
They're gonna get. Apparently, he's gonna go there. They're in League One, are they?
Yeah, they have another Irish lad there actually, Ike Orazi. He is one player everyone needs to watch out for because that lad is different gravy. If you watch this season, you might see that lad break through.
hopefully. David again over on YouTube. Heard Robertson played well in the preseason, but would prefer a younger player over him. Just isn't really anyone at the moment, is there? Like, even Mikey Johnston, he's not playing. He's in the middle of a move. You got Tom Cannons in the middle of a move. They're all unsettled. That was the thing that we discussed earlier, wasn't it, chaps? Like that, a lot of our players are just completely unsettled at club level, and you can't. They got to sort out the futures. Because I think this is going to be a bit of a free swing for Heimer, isn't it? This window.
Yeah. It has to be positive though. But if it's negative, if we lose 4-0 to England, then we lose 2-0 to Greece. That's a very negative window. I know you can say it's a free hit, but I would look at it that if that's how the window ends.
Yeah, but I think people need to be realistic as well. He's had little or no time to prepare this team. We have to be realistic there. James Agnew, wonderful James, who is one of our writers over at lansdowne.ie. Lansdowne. Yeah, fantastic. He's got an article coming out on the 31st, marking Robbie Keane's anniversary, his last game for Ireland, which of course he scored. He's got a fantastic piece coming out. Do check him out, and this is what he has to say. I like James Martin because when he shows up, he gives us a bag of Maltesers each. He gives us chocolate. You give us heartburn. Well, you give me heartburn anyway. Good man, James. Evening, gents. The build-up to England starts here. Yes, it does. Of the omissions, the likes of Duffy, Manning, Johnson, Ebicelli, Azaz, Obafemi Cannon, etc. Who do you think was unfortunate to miss out? I think, for me personally, Duffy, no. Manning hasn't played a second of football. He played now. You were disputing this, Conor, in the WhatsApp, but he did play as a defensive midfielder against Oxford, even though the app said he did play, but he did play. He hasn't played a second of football for Southampton. Hasn't even been near the squad. So
he was an unused sub last night in the cup.
Was he? He couldn't even get in the bloody cup. Like, Mikey Johnson, I think, is very unfortunate. Ebicelli hasn't played. Azaz hasn't had a good start. Middlesbrough.
I don't know how he still should be picked. I don't understand why he's not being picked. If you look at you look at this squad, who can you tell me is a creative midfielder in that position? Because Sammy Smotics isn't really a number 10, and he's not really that type of creative midfielder. He's that Leet runs into the box, getting on the end and stuff. Will Smallbone used to be a number 10, but now he plays a lot deeper than that. So I wonder, I know these two games mightn't be the sort of games, but there's no number 10 in that squad.
Okay. So you reckon Azaz out of that is the most unlucky one?
Yeah, it has to be, surely. He's the one who you can say, yeah, there's a gap there. I know Johnson, we're guessing, it's something to do with that concussion he had, but Azaz is purely off what we're missing from the team. Yeah.
Martin?
Yeah, I'd go with Azaz as well. The fact he's playing. But I mean, Borough are struggling, aren't they? So that might be one of the reasons. You just don't know sometimes of what these managers are doing and stopping people. Because again, referring to the very brief press conference today, the fact that Ferguson's in the squad, they did say that it's clear fitness-wise that Brighton didn't have a problem with him joining up. But so that's important as well. But you just don't know what's going on in the background. Some of these clubs and loan moves and everything kind of triggers it around. It's like domino effect within the transfer window. People moving on.
I have a question for you, lads. Would you have considered bringing up Luca Connell for a direct replacement for Josh Cullen? Because I know Will Smallbone is sorted that can play as a number 6, but for like number 6, would Luca Connell have been that man? Club captain of Barnsley.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I like him, and I think it possibly, it could have been.
He'll be coming to Old Trafford soon.
Bit of breaking news. James has just informed me that Ivan Jovanovic never played against us. He actually never played international football. See, that's why. That's James Agnew, by the way. That's why you need to go to lansdowne.ie to actually read his, because he actually knows what he's talking about. There you go.
I have some breaking news. Can I share it with you?
Go on.
This is in regards to obviously the ticket sales for these free games as part of the free game package, and obviously we're a week out now from the game, and there was a lot of negativity towards the FAI's decision commercially to sell them as a free game package, basically making people buy a ticket for England and then midweek games, obviously against Greece on Tuesday, not on Monday as referred to on the squad announcement. Little dig there. It's actually on Tuesday, the game. And then we've obviously got Finland in November. But a lot of negativity with that, making people buy. But the FAI have said we've got this message come through. We plan to go out with single sales for England tomorrow afternoon. Friday is the planned release. It's 3 p.m. There are limited tickets available in premium. But I want to give everyone the heads up. And there's going to be some category B, category A, premium, and then premium 2 and premium 1. Obviously, the sides are a bit more expensive than the behind the goals. But yeah, so they have backtracked a little bit on this decision just to kind of try and fill out the England game now. So
just to recap for anybody watching, tomorrow, is it tomorrow, Martin?
Tomorrow from 3 o'clock, I think it'll be via Ticketmaster. There'll be limited numbers of individual tickets for the England games. Now, I know a lot of people will be aggrieved by that because they have already bought the free game package.
So there you go. So tomorrow from 3 p.m, Ticketmaster. You heard it here first. Ticketmaster. You can get a handful of single games for the England game. Tomorrow, I don't know if that makes you happy or angered if you bought the 3-game package, but I mean, I think the 3-game package was actually, if you boil it down, was actually good value. But yeah, I understand the pressure of trying to put, in this current economic climate, trying to get 3 games. Anyway, just looking here, by the way, on Independence, the dailies have come out. Nothing really too earth-shattering, really. Just Heimer saying that he's looking forward to playing England. Just have it there in the Independent, just in the background. We are live, so we can do these sort of things. Kevin O, back to the comments. Keep them coming in, guys. We will get to you. Keep it sensible, relatively. Press conference was pish compared to Carsley's. Yeah, you weren't a fan of it, Conor, were you?
No, it was very I don't know what the word is. It just wasn't a very flattering press conference. It didn't give us the information we want from the live section anyway. I'm sure we'll find out more from the embargo section whenever that comes out. But
yeah,
in terms of
was there any mention of Casey McAteer in it? No
mention of any players. I don't think.
No, see, and I just don't understand the point of it then. Whereas 26 minutes England's was. I haven't watched it. I've seen how long it was on YouTube, and seen some clips of it. Yeah. And went into great depth about the players and what they offer and different types of players they're bringing into midfield now, what they think they offer, and that's what I want to hear from the Ireland one. I want to hear about. Tell me about McAteer. Why you selected him.
The 21 press conferences, the fellow who always asks questions first in the live sections to them, he always has brilliant questions, but I think they should get him full time at the senior ones.
Yeah, big time. Let's crack it on with the comments. I've lost his place there. James T, surely you would pick an extra midfielder instead of Robinson. 1 injury tonight or Smallbone, and we are goosed. Jack Taylor, Jamie McGrath, even use Collins as a midfielder and bring Mark McGuinness. Mark McGuinness, of course, has just moved to Luton Town, uncapped as well. You just make a good point that we are very threadbare in midfield. I was surprised Jack Taylor, he's playing for Ipswich, playing in the Premier League, didn't at least get a shout as well. As I said, the world alike, but to be fair, they played Liverpool and Man City in their first 2 games. That's probably what you would have gone with as well, Conor, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would have had Jack Taylor in there. Yeah, I don't know who I would have took out. I'd have to think, but yeah, I would have had him in that squad.
Brandon Walsh, McAteer is a right winger. Why is he listed as a midfielder? So we only have 4 midfielders. Well, he's a right winger.
He's a very traditional type of midfielder, isn't he? He's very up and down the wings. He's not your, I don't know, he wouldn't be your Ben Edwards kicking a pass and running. He's very up and down.
Jinky.
He offers you a lot defensively and going forward. So yeah, I think that's probably why.
Absolutely. Daryl Collins had a very positive game against Liverpool the weekend. He also could take the role of the bastard. Yeah, I thought he was very good, Daryl. Good to see you back on the lives, my good man. Hope to see you over in Dublin. But yeah, no, I thought he was very good against Liverpool, wasn't he? Made a lot of blocks. I think he was lucky, one hit off and went off the crossbar, didn't it? But I thought he was very good against.
He was the best player on Brentford's side anyway, and he was top class first game against Palace. He's had a brilliant start to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Jed's dead baby, Jesus. Robbie Brady, what the fuck, Martin? You've been very quiet.
Well, Robbie Brady is a player that I love, absolutely.
No.
But he is not going to be one that we're going to be relying on going forward. But for this game, I could see completely why he's in the squad. If he's fit, he's going to be a valuable player for us to be creative from set pieces Although I think he's got to just avoid the temptation to try and take everything. That's the kind of thing that he sometimes does. But yeah, brilliant player for me, and it's just it's criminal, really, the injuries he's had over the years, because I think he could have been so much better for us.
100%.
And a very clever player, can play everywhere.
I'll be left wing back for us.
Well,
John
you
Muckin.
retired him. I mean, you can't believe he's in the squad because you retired him about 4 years ago.
And I was right, wasn't I? John Muckin. No, to be fair, when I saw Robbie Brady scoring that penalty win, remember the last minute penalty against Azerbaijan? And I went, or was it Armenia? Was it Armenia?
Mm.
And I went up to him. Yeah, brilliant, Robbie. I'm such a coward. I'm so two-faced. John Muckin, 5-3-2 again. Yeah, I reckon so. Bloody wingbacks. Daryl O'Connor, Brady still has more to offer the team, in my opinion. Will never last a full 90, but a good sub as well as experience. Jed's dead baby. If we're being honest, any squad we pick is going to have lots of how's this guy going to go up against England? We're pretty shit. Fair enough. we are playing Greece as well, to be fair, lads. We have to remember that. Evan H, we can't rely on the current crop of fullbacks. There has to be better left wing back options out there. I don't think there is. One of the names that's going to be mentioned further down here is Dennis Kirkin, Dublin born. Plays as left back, plays for Sunderland, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and he's doing pretty. What's going on there, Conor? You got your ear to the ground.
That one, I don't think anyone knows. I'd imagine he has been named in the England under 21 so far this campaign, and I've looked at their squads, and they haven't actually used a left back. They've been using lads out of positions, so I presume to keep interest away from Ireland and Latvia, because Latvian parents, he'll probably be named in England's under 21s tomorrow, and that'll most likely tie him up to England. The new UEFA rule is if you're 21 playing in any competition for your nation, you're tied. So under 21s caps count towards it now.
That's mad. That's a little throwback to the old system, isn't it? Back to the 70s and 80s. If you played for the under 21s, you were tied to that country. Just said, baby, again, imagine a world where the FEI didn't waste so much money and we had a proper homegrown youth development system. I wish I lived in that world.
Hopefully.
Keep on. Yeah, when we're fucking long dead and buried. Kevin O, wonder does Benjamin White have an Irish granny?
Not a name like that.
He's the guy, isn't he? That he's retired himself from England. He won't play for Arsenal player, or he was.
He done
was
the
he
amazing. Yeah,
he's
done the
Arsenal
amazing
player.
shithousery during the week, didn't he? Against McGinn, was it? When they took him out, and then he just slammed the ball straight at the Villa player. Good.
So that was pretty funny.
He's a good player, to be fair.
Yeah. Jed again. Aaron Wan-Bissaka of the Mayo. Bissaka is worth a shot. Darrell O'Connor, we should send Keith Andrews undercover to get players Greek tactics. Well, they did it to us. The Greeks.
That was brilliant, isn't it? I love all that stuff. That's so good. Them little snippets of things that happened. Great.
Oh yeah, they actually, I could talk about it now, but they took a shot of our tactics in Athens. They did. I saw it.
Oh yeah.
I witnessed it. The one lads had like I don't know, like had the lineup, I think it was, and guy zoomed in on it. Bastard. Yeah, and he said, was it the coach of, where was the coach again? It was Brighton coach, was it, or something with Keith Andrews going on about that as well. He was kind of half right. James Agnew, lads, regarding the new safe ticks tap and go for entering the stadium, is this the right match to introduce this sort of technology? It'll be a huge crowd, busy game, would have been better being trialled in a less high-profile match. Just anticipating a potential shit show at the points of entry as fans try to get in. Martin, you're the man to talk to about that.
Yeah, well, because I'm lanyard free, aren't I? Not like you two and the freebies.
No, you're just a man with the suitcase full of tickets. You won't be able to have a suitcase full of tickets anymore, Martin, will you?
No, there's a load of iPhones. Handing them out. It's not, is it? It's this. So just to explain to people, that most modern stadiums now, when you go in, you scan to go in, or even ticket events, and it's to stop touting and things like that. So when you go up, your ticket kind of virtually becomes live in your hand for a minimal kind of period of like 30 seconds. So it keeps regenerating a different code. Yeah, so it's not like you can't get in on a screenshot now and things like that and circulate that. That's what they've had problems doing. It's not the ideal game to do this with England. I think they've making out it's to do with security. The real reason was
England
because
fans
it's what rugby do. They've had a lot of problems scanning in with this system on the old system. I get emails as a ticketing contact for West London and saying, 100 of you travelled away recently to a game and there was 3 of you didn't scan in, did they go to the game or not? It's kind of do with ticket harvesting for the away games especially. But you do get let in, like stewards who are dealing with a backed up queue can override it, and that's what often happens here. But it's not the right game to do it, but they're going to obviously be kind of security conscious around England.
Yeah.
This is another thing with the Ticketmaster tickets going on sale as well. They're not going to allow anyone to buy tickets if you haven't already got a registered address in Ireland and you brought tickets before. So that's why they're kind of saying that they will be able to stop England fans perhaps buying tickets out for the individual games. So that was something that we're doing for security, but it's a concern generally. I was at Poland years ago. I think when we got the last minute equaliser, and we were in the premium level. Risk London had our season tickets up there at that time, and there was lots of Polish around us that night. And if it had been a controversial game, where any bit of volatility going on, it wouldn't have been a very nice environment. But that was obviously how the tickets were sold then at that time. So they've got to be more security conscious with this.
Yeah. David Sammy Schmodic has a David McGoldrick-esque aura. Yeah, he does actually. Very, very late bloomer as well. Brandon Walsh, Schmodic behind Ferguson with Ogbeni and McAteer on the wings and keep it tight behind him. No point in being ultra defensive. It would be like death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing Casey McAteer. Don't know if he's going to feature against England, but an exciting acquisition there. Kai Watkins, nice to see Rep Tracker. That's what he looks like, folks. So that's who to aim for at the match when you see him. No, I'm just joking. Connor's lovely.
Can I just come back to Sammy Schmodic as a Dave McGoldrick aura, just a late bloomer, because that's the biggest myth in Irish football, Dave McGoldrick.
Oh, I love that man. What a guy.
No, 1 goal.
What a player he was for them couple of years.
1 goal. Mental.
What that man offered at club level and international level for them couple of years.
You're not a fan, Martin?
No, not having it at all.
I thought he was excellent under Mick.
I loved him.
Mick played him as a link-up player, and I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, but that's what he was. He wasn't. It was like Daryl. It was very old school kind of thing. But
what's wrong with that? Did he play bad? Did he play bad under Mick?
There's a reason he didn't go in 2016 to the Euros, was there?
Maybe just bad selection. Would you say that about Sammy Schmodic getting not called up under Stephen Kenny? Would you say that's bad management, or the player wasn't good enough?
There was a lot more going on there in the background. And it's a shame Dave McGuinness isn't on tonight, because he alluded to knowing more about that, didn't he? Because it was. I mean, I was a big fan. Seeing the player he is now, it's criminal that he wasn't involved.
Just don't disrespect my Dizzy.
Yeah, you leave Dizzy alone, Martin.
14
top
player. 14 caps in 6 years.
Yeah.
14 caps, 6 years.
He earned every single one of them.
Listen, Conor.
Martin's a fan of O'Dowda, but not David McGoldrick. That is
exactly. Like, don't fucking mind him. He loves O'Dowda, for Christ's sakes.
Likes players with no football brain, just put the head down and run. I like McGoldrick, proper footballer.
Proper football man, isn't he?
Proper footballer.
Actually knows what he's doing. Right, Shane Brown moving on before we have a punch up. Ogbeni, our main threat for this game and the main man alongside with Sammy for this campaign. There you go, Ogbeni. I do like Ogbeni. We were missed him big time in the last 2 games. Darrell Conor again. Speaking of League of Ireland, I did read somewhere that Heimer wants an Ireland B team for fringe players and League of Ireland players. Suppose it could work in January when League of Ireland is off season. That was bandied about, but we haven't heard too much about that.
He's backtracked on that. He's backtracked on that at that fans forum recently.
Okay,
where he said bit of a pipe dream and they haven't got any money to do it.
It depends on finances, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. And so that's a no. Jed again, League of Ireland players aren't getting anywhere near the team with this new coach. He's going to be pragmatic and looking for Irish grannies. Kevin O, Hopeheimer is a doer and not a sayer. Speaks a good game, but Kai Watkins again. Where's Andy Moore and Sinclair? Should be on the verge now. They're in the under 21s. Kai,
that fella speaks a lot of sense, doesn't he? Right type of guy.
Who is it? Is that your burn account? Is it?
No, it's not. No. He just must be a fan of the channel.
Who is he?
No, I just must have been sick. He is. I've loads of fans out there, Dave. I have loads of fans.
Well, he's watching us on the YouTube Lansdowne Road YouTube channel. So just want to put
don't
that
say
out
my
there.
phone on it, do you? No.
I don't know. Kai Watkins again. I know certain someone had a few quid on Carsley to be the next manager. Was that you, Conor? Was it?
No.
Yes,
No,
that's a
I don't
yes. Neri Nurik, a bit late to the show. Was out. Only tuning in now. You've already had a mass debate over the squad. Yes, we have. We did say 10:30, and you're coming on 40 minutes later. Sorry, Neri.
You
Jimmy
can scroll
Shell,
back.
Rock of... Yeah, you can. One shout at us. Jimmy Shell, Rokovaca came on the other day and played well. Is he in the under 21s?
Yeah, he's top. He's another that's on the verge. He's a top player.
Absolutely.
Watford fans love him, don't they, Conor?
Yeah, they do. They already have a chant for him and all, so he's a real player for the future. And there's someone out there that says he's a wide number 8. He is not a wide number 8, just to emphasize that.
Just a number 8.
Yeah.
Darrell Conor was
Well,
class
he's not
C.
a number 8. He's not a number 8 at all. He's a winger or a number 10. But these modern football gurus do your head in.
Fair enough. Darrell Conor was class C Irish in the squad announcement video. Need more of that. Also appreciate the Lansdowne Roar graphics. Oscuelga also. Yeah. See that, Martin? Oscuelga. Go on, say it back to me. Guelga.
Oscuelga.
There we go. Don't worry, we'll learn you. G, but picture, that's Michael Collins, by the way, Martin, in the picture. Just so
political hero of mine.
Yeah, no, fair. I'm family's from Cork,
I
so
can talk about what? Can I just talk about Michael? Have you seen Alex Ferguson talk about Michael Collins? It's very good. A little clip on YouTube.
Yes, we have. Very excellent. But he says any more needs to be brought in. Well, he's in the under 21s. Give him time. Hayden Lloyd, 874. As you said earlier, Conor, there is a slight weakness with the left wing backs in the squad. And with the season Jordan Shipley had last year, do you think he should get in the squad?
He's probably need to step up from League One. He's doing well in League One, but I think he needs to be back in the Championship if he wants to get back in the Ireland frame.
Fair enough. And left back Kirkham would be a great catch, says G. Which yeah. We did mention Dublin born but Latvian players, Latvian parents, and also English base, basically. Darrell Conor, that completely slipped me as well. I genuinely thought Poyet was still managing Greece. So did I until I was doing the bloody research. Kai Watkins again. Do you think that both Cardiff lads deserve to be in the squad after the poor form? No, I don't.
That should be for Prendy.
Yeah, sorry, Martin. Go on. Let's hear this.
Goal scoring? Callum Robinson is
1 goal. Yeah,
how many goals has he scored for Ireland?
And Colin Madowda in
Madowda plays week in, week out for them.
In a defence that conceded 8 goals in 3 games.
I'm quite happy with what he's doing.
Yeah, I bet you are.
One of them was in the derby. It was that in the derby, wasn't it? Against Swansea. His goal as well.
Yeah,
84
game
player,
minutes.
Callum Robinson. Yeah. 9 goals and 37 appearances. That's probably not as good as Didsy.
What's this? Why is he referencing Didsy? What's this got to do with
it? What are you got against Didsy?
I'm just saying, because someone said about Didsy, it's the biggest myth in Irish football. 1 in 4 goals near it.
Someone said, you said, basically.
I think he's just trying to be controversial, Dave. I think he's just trying to be different. You stay different.
Well, what do you think of Martin's comments about Didsy? Do you agree? Say in the comments. Send that abuse. You got at PrenDM on Twitter. Go for it. Tom Weaver up to Sinclair, and then a lot of up to Sinclair.
That, yeah.
Sinclair are for fans.
Yeah, there's up to Sinclair. There's Ogbenny. There's all this kind of stuff. There's Oi. There's all sorts of mad stuff going on there. But we'll move it on. The Podgequin. Just tune in. Sorry if I already discussed, but we are so light at the defensive midfield. Would the likes of Coventry, Kilkenny, and Hodge be better off in EU than third, fourth tier?
The continent.
On the continent. Yeah, sorry. EU. We don't talk about the EU and over here. Better off in Europe than third, fourth tier of English football. I mean, I think so.
100% agree. I don't know if any of you've seen, but Gavin Kilkenny's after moving to Swindon Town, which physically made me get sick earlier seeing that. And I don't know if you have seen much of Gavin Kilkenny, but when you look at technically gifted Irish footballers, Gavin Kilkenny is as good as anyone. And the fact that he's gone from Bournemouth from a couple of years ago, he started in the Championship for Scott Parker's side and was absolutely brilliant. And now he's moved to Swindon Town. It's terrible to see. Such a talented footballer, he should not be going near that league.
Fair enough. Blue and gold. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Doherty and Brady, for fuck's sakes, we need to be looking to the future and giving young lads games. New manager, same old shite. Team wise, give them time. Blue and gold, give them time. I get your frustration, but there's really nobody else. There really isn't anybody else. And you got Ebicelli, is a right back, hasn't played a game for Udinese, and he's going to go to League One. I think it's just unfortunate timing. He starts playing regularly in League One, then he should be included. Just give him time. Why would Kirk declare for us when he sees Brady get the nod? I follow Sunderland, and he's what we need. Fair enough. An endorsement there for Kirkin. Hopefully, actually, the new granny ruler person will sort that. But if he plays for the under-21s in the next window, we're in trouble. John, seeing England didn't call up Madison again, typical England, 2 to 3 caps and thrown on a scrap heap, he would have made such a difference to this Irish team.
No, he's never going to play for us.
No?
No, sure. He's a top player. He's not. If you're like him, he's not going to think that he thinks he's good enough to play for England, so he's not going to decide I'll play for Ireland because of this.
Fair. Kazi, why isn't Bosun Lawal in the squad? He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, they find an issue in his medical, so he is out for a wee while.
Okay, and that's why he's not in the under-21s because of his recent move. Yes, because of medical. Yeah, so that answers that one. David Martin's a fan of O'Dowda, but not Dave McGoldrick. Yeah,
No, I'm a fan of McGoldrick. I've no problem with McGoldrick, but it is just a myth.
Just a myth.
It's overrated. It's like
don't have a problem with he's overrated.
Conor Salmon as well and Daryl Murphy with too many of them. And he was a better than any of them.
Of course he was.
He
just was way better than me. Actually, was a good footballer.
But he was later on. Yeah, later on.
Yeah,
he was towards the end.
It doesn't matter.
Which was the point. No,
He's
still more than but he didn't go to the Euro 2016. They picked Daryl Murphy above him, and Daryl Murphy hadn't scored for Ireland. So that was that. I know he's 4 years previously, but still,
yeah, 4 years.
I think. I think
you're disrespecting the king a bit too much. I just think that's what
he was good in the campaign, but he found his level where he started banging in goals, didn't he?
Fair, League One.
Yeah. He did. He didn't. He scored 15 goals in Championship and scored a few in the Premier League the next season.
Yeah, no, he was good, but for a striker who didn't play enough, and that's the thing. Even like John Walters and McLean, we do have these players who have a very, very good campaign. I just think in comparison to them, they qualified us to tournaments. He never really did. And, he didn't have enough goal scoring in him for internationally.
Right, let's move it on. Darrell O'Connor, had to say, I was a fan of McGoldrick myself, held the ball up, which allowed other players to get forward to involve them in the game. He rarely misplaced a pass. Under Mick, 2019, I thought he was excellent. James T, any word on John Egan? Seems it's gone very quiet on a player that was a regular captain. He's unattached, Jamesy. He doesn't have a club. He's been
training with Burnley.
He's training with Burnley. There you go.
Yeah, he's expected to sign for them, I think.
I think so. He's just had a lot of injuries, hasn't he, lately? Yeah. Bit of and Sheffield United in serious financial trouble. David Darrell speaking, only facts that Switzerland game was a masterclass. Dave McGoldrick, yeah, he was brilliant. That's his only goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. And do you remember that playoff game, Stephen Kenny's playoff game? He was absolutely brilliant that night. But
then retired.
A certain someone missed an open goal, which cost an all-time performance from McGoldrick.
Was that Doherty missed that?
No, it was Hiran.
Oh, Jesus. God, yeah. Knife in the past. Kevin O, really hope Cousin Will does well in these games. He has been hot and cold for us so far. Hopefully, it won't be played as a number 6 in the absence of Cullen. Now, I think that'd be a Malumbi. I'd play Malumbi as a number 6.
No, you can't play Malumbi as a number 6.
No?
No. I think you'd have to have Smallbone as the number 6 and Malumbi as the destroyer running about the place.
Yeah,
Malumbi's sitting, I think
that's people.
Yeah,
I don't like Malumbi.
I do like Malumbi, but he's not number 6. He's definitely
yeah, he's too wired, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's too wired. He's not disciplined enough. John, any word on Cone Doherty? Has he jumped ship to England underage setup? No, he's Drogheda lad, isn't he? He's over at Liverpool.
Derry. He's from
Derry, sorry.
Yeah. It's impossible
Liverpool.
to switch England,
Yeah. It's no English.
Yeah.
In him whatsoever. Dean Flood, I feel like Will Ferry at Dundee United wouldn't be a bad choice for left back. He's going well.
He is. He actually is doing very well. Yeah.
He must be about 29 now, is he?
No, he's 20. Same age as Ida. He's that crop a lot, so he'd be 23.
Oh, okay. I might get bloody mixed up with. Here's one for you, Jimmy Shell. Sorry, guys, just on the 21s. Did I hear Hodge is in the squad? Who is he playing for this season, lads? Is it Wolves still? Joe Hodge.
Huddersfield, he's gone on loan. He joined them yesterday. So he's in
There you
League One, but they're expected to challenge for the title. So if he plays regularly every week with Huddersfield, does well, they get promoted and then another loan to Championship next season.
Cool. Blue and gold. Martin Rice at it again. Evan H. What's the crack with Kevin Zeff? He thought he'd been playing with our under 21s. That's a fair question, but Conor, do you want to answer that one?
It's a bit of a sticky on him at the moment. He, to put it simply, he signed for Roma in January due to a very dodgy agent he had at the time that didn't tell him about interest from England. There was a manager who was managing under 19s and was the sporting director at Roma. Both left, so then come to summer here, and he's a manager they currently have with the 19s in Rome. Is that's the equivalent to 21s in England. Plays a 4-4-2, which doesn't suit Zeffy. So I think over the last day of the transfer window, there might be a bit of activity there. I think he's trying to get it, but I think it's 50-50 at the moment whether he does or not.
There you go. See, this is why you come on these lives, because Conor, he knows stuff. He's had a whole new dimension. He's had a whole new dimension to us. We could talk about the past and all that, but Conor, he's got his ear to the ground. Footy Rob, no fin his ass. Tom Cannon, Jack Taylor, Obafemi, or Jamie McGrath. I mean, yeah, we've kind of covered that before. Rumour tonight, Forest had an offer for Kelleher. Apparently, there's been an approved offer. There was one rejected, but I think it was a £25 million offer. Conor, wasn't it?
It's that Peter Rourke, the insider. He's very good for transfers. He said they're offering a lot closer to the valuation, 25 million, and hoping to persuade Liverpool to accept it.
I think that's fair, especially with the new lad coming in.
But what is going on in Forest with all these goalkeepers? They've already got 3 keepers. The same one this summer already. It makes no sense.
Maybe actually it would be a good move for Kelleher then, because I mean, look what happened to Amabama Delhi. £10 million in him, and he's just sitting on the bench.
He played well last night, actually. He's a
good player.
Yeah, he's a really he's one of our top young talents.
Technically, very, very good. Yeah. Ball playing centre back.
And Mark McGuinness moved, did he?
Yeah, Luton.
Yeah. I mean, he's another one who I think was a very good player.
Going back to the 21s when he was there, it was him and Jake O'Brien together, and he was always the highly touted of the two. But then obviously Jake O'Brien headed on to Belgium alone, and then got to Lyon, and Mark McGuinness went to Cardiff. It shows the direction. Sometimes when you take that gamble and go abroad, it might work out better for your career.
There you go, Dave McGuinness. We did mention his name earlier. Sorry he couldn't join tonight, lads, on Uncle Judy's. Well, I hope you're well, David. But Brady. Yeah, I mean,
Kenny wouldn't have picked him. David, you'd have been happy with that.
I don't think he would have been happy with anything that Kenny did. John Murphy, with our lack of options in midfield and a strength clearly as centre back and up top, I think it's a no-brainer to persist with the 3 at the back. Conor is constantly yapping without substance.
Oh, that's a bit disrespectful.
Oh, sorry, Conor.
He's coming.
Get used to it, mate.
He's coming for our heads.
Yeah, I mean, get used to it, mate. I've been called all sorts of names. John, when Madison was at Norwich as a youngster, there was a lot of talk of declaring. O'Neill didn't pursue it. I mean, I think fucking O'Neill didn't pursue many things. Declan Rice, Jack Grealish. CJ Egan for the future? Asks David.
He played for us before. He's at Burnley now. I don't know what the story is there. I'd say he's one that's if he's not good enough for England, he'll end up declaring for us, but I guess you'd have to wait and see.
Egan Riley, is it?
Yeah.
21.
He's at Burnley.
He is at Burnley. To this day. Okay, I've just gone on the Wikipedia page. It's like Wikipedia still can't be sold. What? It's asked me for more money again. So yeah, he played for the under-15s for England, under-16s for Ireland, under-16, 17, 18, and 90 for Ireland. So that's a strange one, that, isn't it? That he went from.
No, he only played for Ireland like under-16s. That's all he ever played at.
And in England,
yeah,
strange one. John, any word on the lad McGinn in the MLS? He's American now, isn't he? He's
Yeah, he
fully.
can't play for us.
There you go. Darrell O'Connor, need Malumbi in his bastard mode from Scotland home for England next week. Kevin O, does Conor know of any potential players in the USA or Australia? The women's team do well with players from there.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think there's any that we know of in Australia, but yeah, there's plenty in the States. But I don't think there's any to note of at the moment that are like on the quality of what the FA will be looking for.
Fair enough. And the Podge Quinn, the last comment of the night. Malumbi could easily be the bastard. Great engine, but prone to bookings. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for getting involved on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, not Instagram, on YouTube. You can go to our Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube. Just scan that QR code and it is there. This is the start of the international window. It's a squad reaction show. So this is the only place really to get all your window stuff here. We're going to be live on the ground. Conor and I will be for the England game and the Greece game. We're going to have loads of stuff in between. So get tuned, get stuck into Lansdowne Road. And of course, head over to Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. Conor, he's doing God's work. If you want to know what's going on with the current players and players in the future, he is the man to go to. Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. That's over on Twitter. Right, lads. Thank you very much, Conor.
Thank you very
your
much.
First non-stadium live episode.
First episode with the great Brandy.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the words. That's it. Finish it on that, Dave.
Is it? Yeah.
No. Great Brandy.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could have 2 shirts hanging behind you, Conor, on the next one.
Oh.
Getting it. There's a couple more comments there, actually. There's a few more comments, Dave. I think they're worthy.
All right, go on. John, any word on Cristiano Fitzgerald in Portugal? Has he progressed?
No, I don't think so.
Whoever that is. Fair play, Conor. Some knowledge.
Yeah.
And get an ex-Irish international on this podcast. We have.
We've had some in the past, and we will be getting them in the future. Yeah,
we have.
Got some exciting plans ahead, haven't we?
Actually, yes, we do. We got some great plans coming ahead. Going to get some former players on the podcast, and maybe a couple of live shows, Martin, coming up in November. Insane.
Yes.
And if you go through our archive, actually on the YouTube channel, we do have some ex-players on there. So get involved. But anyway, this is definitely the end of that. Thank you very much, guys, for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. As always, scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. If you want opinion, head over to lansdownemore.ie. We are the only place. We're the home of Irish football. Oh, that's a bit cheeky. But we are the voice of the fans, and we will have loads of live episodes. We'll be live from the ground. We'll be live before the match, after the match. So if you want to have your say, get involved. This is where it's at. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel, so please hit that subscribe button. Scan the QR code. Subscribe to our bloody YouTube channel. And while you're at it, head over to Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. Conor, he has got all the knowledge. Anyway, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. We will see you on, probably the grounds, the next live one, Martin, isn't it?
Yep, I think that's the next live one, but we've got some other stuff coming up in between.
We got loads of stuff coming up, and Conor and I will be live from Lansdowne Road for that one. Anyway, lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you. Good night, and come on, you boys in green.